Now, you did not just see a miracle, God didn't make you grow. The miracle is, thank God, there's a stepping stool here. Another miracle would be me not falling off. Before I like to preach, I like to say a prayer. I like to end with, and the church says, and that's your opportunity to be very enthusiastic and saying amen, and because there's no greater place to be but in the Lord's house.
Amen.
Amen. All right, sister. And I didn't even pay her to do that. I felt the Spirit. The Lord be with you.
The Lord be with you.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us here today to hear your word. Have it to open our hearts to know you more. Have it to open our minds so we can study you more. And have it to open all things in our lives so we can share you more. As I speak to your people this morning, have the words of my mouth to be of only of you, so they may know that you are amongst them. And the church says,
Amen.
You guys are alright. So it seems as if Jesus is becoming very popular. People are starting to follow him around a lot. And we have to ask, what are they following him for? Apparently, in our scripture, it says that they are following him because they've seen these signs that he has done for the sick. So they want to know a little more about him. Or they're bringing the sick to him to be healed. So Jesus is becoming very, very popular now. And people are want to know, who is this man? Why is he here? Is he a prophet? Well, let's look at it. All of us in here, in some form or fashion, are following Jesus. For our own little ways, our own little purposes, we follow Christ. Now, I don't know why you personally follow him, and I don't know as a whole of the church why you follow, but for some reason, this Jesus is interesting to you. He has done something in your life that says, I need to know more about him. I need to figure this out. I want to know more. So I need to be around folks who are following Jesus. It says that this great multitude of people are following Jesus, and he sees them come up the mountain. And he says to his disciple, what and how are we going to buy food for these people? Now, Philip's response is not unusual. When you see a lot of people in front of you, or you see a huge situation in front of you, sometimes we doubt that we have the resources or the ability to engage in that. We doubt it. So when Philip says, 6 months of money, wages, it won't even feed a little bit of people here. It's that Jesus didn't test him, because Jesus already knew what he was going to do. So how is Jesus testing us today? When we see a great multitude of things in front of us, or a great multitude of people, do we say, well, we're lacking, so therefore we can't do it? Or I don't have the ability to do it, so therefore I can't do that kind of ministry, or I can't tend to those types of people because I don't have what it takes, or I don't have what we need. It seems as if we, at times, a lot of times, focus on what we lack. And when we focus on what we lack, we tend to see things that we are in and not what God is in. Because it says Jesus already knew what he was going to do. He was just testing. I think Jesus tests us today. What are you going to do about the people down there at the border who are coming for asylum? What are you going to do about the people that are experiencing war? What are you going to do about the homeless? What are you going to do about the people that need to be fed? What are you going to do? Are you going to focus on what you lack, or are you going to focus on what I can do? Because if we focus on what God can do, then we see that God takes a little bit of something then I would tell Jesus I need a cow. I like steak. I don't like fish that much. I'm not down with the fish. My dad cooked it too much. I don't like it. I have this. And it's very interesting that it's mentioning about a boy, because usually children are not mentioned in Scripture, but when they are mentioned in Scripture, we need to take heed to what's going on. At times it feels as if children are more closer to God than we are. They understand the faith of God than we do. Maybe because they don't know the fears that we have to go through. They don't have jobs. They get taken care of, you know? They don't know responsibilities of what it means to live. So apparently this boy says, I have, so here, do what you may. He could have said, I don't have enough. But he said, here, do what you may. And then it's very interesting that Jesus said to his disciples, sit the people down. Get them organized. Because he already knew what he was about to do. I think today Jesus is saying to us, I need you to be active in what I'm about to do. Yes, God does everything. And we just sit back and say, oh, God, take care of it. But when we have that mindset, when we think that way, then we tend to miss out what it means to be a neighbor to each other. We tend to miss out on what the plight our neighbor goes through and the plight that we go through. We tend to miss out how God works in people's lives. So he tells us, I need you to be part of this. What I do in this world, I need you to take part of it. I don't need my church to sit back and say, just wait a while. I need you to stuff up your shoes and, hey, do this. Kind of tight here. Pull up your sleeves and get in there. And see how God works. See the blessings of God, what he can do. Because we just sit back and just wait and we miss out. We miss out on that glory. We miss out on that miracle. Jesus is telling the church, get people ready. Because I'm about to do something. And what does he do? He feeds everyone. Now, it says 5,000 people, and that's usually, in the biblical thing, it's usually counted by men. So there's more people there. I like to add us in women. You know, we're part of this too. But everybody was fed. There was no focus on a little bit. It was only the focus of what God can do. And when you focus on what God can do, you can see it, you can feel it, you can taste it. It's in your life. And God does miracles in our lives. He's not just a miracle worker, but his miracles do change our lives. We don't know if those people could afford something to eat. We don't know how far the store was. We didn't have Wise or where I'm from, Redner. You have Redners up here? No? Okay, well, Redners. They didn't have that, or a Walmart. They didn't have a car. Mostly didn't have a bank account. So Jesus saw their need. And I want to be with a God that sees the needs of the people. I want to be around folk that see the needs of the people and say, let's do this. Let's not focus on what we lack. Let's focus on what Jesus can do. And let's give thanks into it. Because Jesus gave thanks, and God took care of it. Thank you, Lord, for these 5 barleys of loaves and 2 fish. Thank you. Thank you for giving us something. Now look at what God can do. And there was such abundance left over. You ever have leftovers? I love leftover pizza. It's the best. Especially pepperoni leftover pizza. It's the best. There was leftovers. So you went from lacking to leftovers. You went from little to much. You went to abundance. All because you focused on what God can do. Now, I know all of us in here, like I said earlier, we're all following Jesus for for our own reasons. But I really want you to contemplate on that. Why are you following Christ? What has he done in your life to make it abundance? What were you lacking? And God says, don't worry about it, I got you. What's going on in your life right now? That you say, Lord, I need an abundance in my life. You see the need I have, and you are the only one that can make it work. So everything that you have given me, I want to give thanks to it. Everything that you have provided, I'm going to give glory to it. And you know what? It's going to come out into abundance. And what you do with that abundance is this. You bless others. Because we all, if you think about it, are in the same boat. We're all lacking something. Enough, all of us can't put all of it on that cable bill. Put some on the cable bill. We can't put everything on the rent. We put something on the rent. I want you people to know that you are following a God that sees you in everything you do. That knows everything that you need. And says, I love you so much that I even lay down my life for you. Because if we only see Christ as a miracle worker or an ATM machine, then we miss out on the purpose of why he came. To give life and life abundantly through the cross. To say, I have come to show you through my suffering that I love you. He didn't come with millions of dollars in his pocket. He had to borrow a donkey. He didn't really have a house. You can tell by his shoes. He didn't even have shoes. He was walking around. Back then, walking around with shoes. Nasty. We have a God that was poor. We have a God that dealt with the marginalized. We have a God that was a refugee. We have a God that didn't have anywhere to be born but in a cave or amongst animals and mangers and women. I know we don't want to give birth next to a manger. Next to some animal stuff. It's nasty. But we have a God that says, I walk with you every day. We have a God that says, I'm with you and everyone else around this world. I'm not just for you, I'm for the whole entire world. And then you know the world's going crazy right now in our time. Up is down, lies are truth. Moral living is hatred is brewing, injustice is brewing. And I will say this, if we are to call ourselves a Christian nation, then we need to stand up for peace. We need to stand up for the marginalized. We need to use our blessings that are left over for those who don't have. So all may know who God is. Blessings are not to be hoarded but given out. We cannot be selfish with God, but to share God in all that we do. He is a faithful God, and we're not faithful at all. You know, on Friday, my fiance and I went out to get some food, and I only had $50. That's all I could spend, was $50. And you know how you go to the store, and you go to the list, but usually you get what's not on the list? Right? You ever do that? All the time. Walmart is good for that, you know? And we needed some water. And we got to the cashier and we realized we didn't have any water. We were at $60. So I didn't have enough for water. And we needed some water because Allentown water is nasty. I don't know what they put in there, but I tell you, if you drink it, you will be good for your funeral. That's all I say. You will be preserved. And we needed some water. And we got to the cashier and we realized we didn't have any water. We were at $60. So I didn't have enough for water. And we needed some water because Allentown water is nasty. I don't know what they put in there, but I tell you, if you drink it, you will be good for your funeral. That's all I say. You will be preserved. about it. I even apologized to my fiance saying, I'm sorry I couldn't get you water. I felt really bad. I'm being honest with you guys. I focus on lacking. When you focus on lacking, you just focus on yourself. You don't focus on what you got. And then we get back to the house and we get our dogs, Roscoe and Chips, as their names. And when we get there, the church that we live next to, and they have a school, and they have a huge parking lot. And we pulled in the back of our apartment building, and there was a huge 18-wheeler. And I saw people carrying water. I wonder what's going on here. So I get out, and the pastor's wife lives in African-American tradition called First Lady. The First Lady came and said, do you need water? I said, do I? Yes. Well, go get some water. I was able to get 5 or 6 cases of 35-pack of water. That's not to say that, God's an ATM machine or whatever, but it's to say that, and to tell myself, because it's going to pass, it doesn't mean I always have faith. I doubt at times too. That God saw me in my situation. That God provided. But even though I was lacking, he says, you need to focus on me. And when you focus on me, I take care of your needs. 6 cases of water. And when I was, thank you. But it's a group of men that have a new organization in Allentown. This is what I mean by getting involved and being with God's people and doing God's work, not just focusing on miracles. And they're doing a lot of things in the community when it comes to lacking resources. And I told them where I was, so now I'm going to be part of that group to help out. Because I'm not just here for the miracles. I want to be involved. God needs us to be involved. So I end with this, because I think I'm going over, become a Baptist preacher. I don't know why you follow Christ, but I know you're following. And whatever you need, and you think you're lacking, I have come here to tell you today to focus on what God can do. The little bit that we have, we can do many things with. God is a creative God. He knows what we need. He will not give us ministry for us to struggle. He gives us ministry so life can be abundantly given to all people. So do some soul searching within yourself. Ask God to help you not to focus on the lack, but keep the focus on Him. Because He came to give us life and life abundantly, and so abundantly that even 12 baskets were left over. Amen.
Amen.